What's up, everybody? It's Exhale City. This is Mason. You already know we're on the way to the Heady Seminar. Big shout out to Banjo and to Glass Station for hosting the event and for inviting us out. We actually just crossed over the bridge into Arkansas, so we are about 4.5 hours out. Dude, this is about to be a great time. Me and the boy Ashton have been driving this entire time. It's been a great experience. Thank you again for having us, and you guys enjoy.
Hey guys, I'm Banjo, and this is the piece we created for a recent event we called the Heady Seminar. This is built out of borosilicate glass. My good buddy Joe Peters, who is a sculptor of aquatic life and many other things, collaborated with myself and just about 10 or 12 people a couple months back, where we taught a class, kind of a glass blowing demonstration, seminar style event, and basically worked all day long, several days in a row, and a bunch of different people contributed work and little parts to this whole thing, and then we assembled it. So start to finish on the piece, I would probably say it must have been about 3 months. But that was 10 people worked solidly for 15 hours a day for 8, 9, 10 days. The bulk of the piece was created during that session. The class was held in Fayetteville, Arkansas, northwest Arkansas, and it was put on in conjunction with my good buddy Wade at Glass Station. We just moved into the area, and this was a little collaborative project we did to just sort of get to know the local glass people and share and bring everybody together to have an opportunity to do what we love. This was probably the 10th class that I've done in the last 5, 6 years, 7 years maybe, since I started kind of doing these seminar style classes, and it kind of combines a lot of different elements. There's a learning aspect, there's a social aspect. Students are coming in, some that have only been blowing glass for a few months, and some that have been blowing for a number of years. Some of the students that take the classes primarily just make little, what people would call production items, or small little items, bread and butter, and sell to shops. Real low key, don't participate in the larger glass scene. And then other artists are really way up in the scene and have names and histories and styles they've developed. So there's even people that take the classes that don't blow glass at all, but are huge fans of glass and just want to be able to support and be around the art as it's getting made. So it's got a very performance art aspect to it, similar to a concert where people just go and be able to see the musicians playing and hang out with other friends who love the music, partake in the vibes of the whole thing. These events kind of have that same thing going on. One of the main things I hear about is that people come home with a whole bunch of new friends that they didn't know that they would meet and didn't expect to meet. A lot of people who take the classes are just very busy in their own worlds and don't have time to get out to lots of different glass events. And so, when you take the time and come to a class like this, and you're together in fairly close quarters, 3 or 4 days straight with around 20 or 30 different people. We've got, musician friends that are coming playing music. We've got, excellent food coming, and we're all enjoying together. All of the different artists who are at different levels are sharing different skills with each other, and people are, just becoming friends, fast friends, and collaborating partners. For me, one of the coolest things to see is over the years, I'll just see all these collaborations and friendships and partnerships start forming from the people that were united over the common interest in you know, this kind of glass working. And so, like, for instance, in this case, even take it further, I'll bring in a friend like Joe P, who's got his own entire aesthetic, very deep, you know, that he's developed over quite a number of years. And, you know, so he'll come in and then people will get to learn all of these organic sea life or methods of using color, just different things that, you know, might not come out of one of my normal classes. So there's always unexpected aspects. One of my favorite things that happens at the class is I'll be behind the bench working, and I'll hear kids out in the crowd or in the group talking amongst each other and teaching each other things, and I'll hear things I didn't know. So even they're teaching, you know, everybody's there learning and teaching at the same time. So it's very eclectic. We love this. You know, my family and I have been involved in glass for 22, 23 years now, and there's always people coming in. I can remember when I was just coming in a year or two in, and how exciting it was for me, and whenever you would find people who were willing to share and who wanted to see you grow and learn new things and be part of the progression of it, it was just like such a treat. So for now to create an environment where people can get together and share what they know with each other, network, build relationships, and a lot of times it allows people to permit themselves, you know, to get away with certain things. Like, oh, I didn't know you could do it that way. And someone else is like, oh, I do it that way too. That can be a very liberating, you know, realization, how clean you work in your shop, you know, things like that. People will see me being a mess in there and whatever, but then we'll pull out a nice clean piece in the end, and it just kind of clicks, you know. It's okay for them to be messy too. Anybody that's interested in glass, really the medium of glass and the technique and the functionality, and enjoys the company of others and learning, and you know, like, I recommend one of these classes. If I'm ever in your area, I'm almost always bringing another artist or two with me, so that there's a fairly diverse skill set getting presented. It stays fresh. We basically push ourselves to make a project that's not, you know, easily attainable just by one solo artist. And then all of the magic and the different push and pull of developing out the, you know, the idea together as it runs, like it becomes a very inclusive experience. So if you're interested in being included in that kind of creative mix, you know, and to be right with us in our heads as we're sort of figuring this out, there's times where we'll, you know, just sit there and say, where should we do? Hold this here or hold this there? And everybody's like, over there. We're like, okay, cool, we'll hold over here. So it's almost like a choose your own adventure sometimes, but you know, there's a million reasons to come. But if you love glass and camaraderie and, you know, just good vibes, then definitely come check out one of these seminars. I go long hours. We bring musicians, you know, so we bring couches and rugs and, you know, make a very comfortable zone, try and have everybody bring their own art, and it's on the table, so everybody's talking about their art and leveling up, and it's just like, it's a beautiful little experience. I feel enriched, you know, every time we run one, and to be able to come out with another beautiful piece of work that many people put their best energy into is the icing on the cake, really. My ideal future for the Heady Seminar, I would say, would be for there to be Heady Seminars going on everywhere. I think with all the decentralization and all the shifting in the world right now, I mean, everybody's moving toward local and growing their own food. There's so many different larger systems that are ceasing to really serve the individuals at the highest capacity, and that's just a sign of our times. We're going to find that in every industry, and when it comes to the glass community, you know, we've never really gotten too far away from our roots because it's a very young community, so it's fresh to be able to look at this and yet to see the way that there's always a consolidation of power and energy even within the glass community. In these times, like, I'm seeing lots of little communities. There's so many of us now that what I would like to see with these seminars in the next 5 years is every single major city has an event where lots of glassblowers come and get together and share techniques. Maybe it's tied to charity. There's learning. Maybe there's like classes and a charity event going in conjunction. So when people come into the area, there's shows, there's collaborations, there's the charity aspect, the community aspect, music, other arts. People are bringing, you know, tattoos and metal arts and just all the other stuff. Like, I'd like to see that become like a network where anybody like myself or others who like to teach and share could go bounce around from setup to setup and just like mix around and have fun working with crews in different areas. You know, it's happening now. Like, everywhere you look, it's starting to come into place now. So I'd love to play my part in trying to, you know, add as much of a community effort and an inclusive, not just this is a glass lesson for just glass blowers to come and learn how to do the glass techniques that the glass artist is doing. No, I'd rather have it, you know, that it can have that all the way. In this event, if we have 20 people, 30 people, which is usually I have 20 to 30 people in these classes, 5 to 10 to 12 might be intently focused on what's going on with the torch at any given time, depending on what people are interested in learning, because so much gets covered. And a number of others may be playing music, hanging out, looking at each other's art, you know, getting to know, just like you're camping, only we're all around the fire the whole time. I'm rambling off. It's a sacred thing. After about 2 weeks, she was mostly in place, but then over the course of 2 months, I just kept kind of sticking her in. Joe, my collaborating partner, Joe Peters, was down in Honduras, and he had a shop set up down there, so we had a little back and forth too, where he even made a few extra little school of fish after we had physically parted ways on the project, and sent them up to me in the mail, and I would just kind of look at it and hold them up and stick them here and there. So we finally finished it just about 2 weeks ago. I can just express so much gratitude for all of these opportunities, you know, first and foremost to my wife and my kids for, you know, just being there, supporting the whole thing and holding the house down while I'm able to come out and spend these crazy hours and, you know, this kind of time and doing all this stuff. The next thing that comes to mind is all the people that support and love glass art. You know, I'm grateful to the glass that it attracted all of us to it, to each play our part, whether it's the makers or the appreciators. I mean, all of it together. Like, I'm grateful for this medium and this magical time. Yeah, and lastly, I'm grateful for the witness, like just for the, you know, we have the Exhale crew over in Georgia, and they sent a film crew out to be able to document this whole thing. I'm grateful to you guys for the opportunity to really make sure we went all out as hard as we could. If you're gonna have a film crew here and a dedicated, you know, project like this, like, we're gonna make sure we do it just right. So, stoked on it. Thank you guys again.